This video will also be live on YouTube because I think it's important for everyone to know where we're going with the markets. So let me just start with Bitcoin. All right. So I'm going to be removing these levels and we're just going to be talking about these 4 levels. All right. So here is Bitcoin's range high. And I made a small little video about this yesterday going over, why I thought the market was going to dip. And to everyone that has been watching my YouTube series and videos, I talk about consolidation on support often, right? And it can be seen as 2 different ways, okay? One way could be, consolidation on support is strong because buyers are showing up. We're not, going below that level. I don't see it that way. I see consolidation on support as weakness. Now, the longer the consolidation, the weaker that support's going to be. Why is that? Because if buyers are supposed to be stepping up, right, why haven't they pushed the price higher? Not only that, the other reason that I saw, us going down is because we went, we made a higher high, came back down, then we made a higher low here, and then we just started consolidating on support. So it just showed weakness on the buy side for us to go higher, and I knew that we were going to dip because, one, perpetual prices were leading by over $150 compared to spot prices. So this whole entire move up, once we had the flush, this whole entire move up was driven by perpetuals, leverage traders, leveraged gamblers, leveraged degens, whatever you want to call them. And there was no real spot buyers. Like if you were to think about it, can you guys not see my screen? It says I'm streaming. Okay. Um, no one's going to be buying Bitcoin up here. All right. If we take a look at like BlackRock, for example, if they bought all the way down here, they're dumping on you guys over here. So there's no real reason for anyone to be buying Bitcoin here, right? And that's why the spot price wasn't being like right now, we have a $30 premium over perpetuals. All right. So spot buyers have stepped back in. I mean, we had, a huge dip, right? And this is a very important level to hold because this is support. Now, like I said, the more support is touched, right, the weaker it's going to be. Okay, we've had multiple touches here, right? This wick held support. All right, you have to look at candle bodies. This wick took out all this liquidity. Candle closed above the support and it held. Same thing here with yesterday, and same thing here. So this is support. Lose this, we go to mid-range. Here is our range lows. Here is our range highs. Right, we bounced from mid-range, and the next liquidity pocket is going to be this area here. Okay, so this whole entire move up, perpetuals were leading. All right, it really started to become a difference when we were here. I remember looking at the price on Friday, especially on Saturday, and we had a $100 difference between perps and spot. Now, Justy made a very good point. This is a lagging indicator, so we can go higher, but it just means that the move is getting exhausted from a buyer's spot point of view. And lo and behold, we dipped, right? Now, again, we're leading by $30, again, lagging indicator. So this shows that spot buyers are stepping up at a very crucial point. But if we're taking, like I talk about the importance of a range, the next touch or the most important level is going to be this range low here. All right, we have this liquidity pocket. We can easily go in here, bounce, probably take this low here and bounce higher. But I want to take a look at this little possible range forming. We only had a touch of range lows just by that mark there. But if I were to go back to this point, right? Let's go here. So we had, our range lows marked there. Okay, we had the range highs, deviation, back into the trend line touch, back into, range highs, back into range highs, and the trend line held, right? Now, fast forward, range highs, right? Back into trend line, rejection, back into trend line, again, back into trend line, and then we lost it. What happened when we lost it over here? We had a 11% move back down to range lows. This was your mid-range level, okay? Back down to range lows, deviation, back to range highs, and we were just accumulating basically in this range, followed by a further move down into these range lows. All right, so now your range lows completely moves over, but now we have broken down from this trend line. So if we take a look at this fractal and we see that we have an 11% drop to previous range low levels, okay, if we were to take that same exact drop of 11% or close to 11%, we go back down to our range low levels. All right, now what happened once we broke the trend line? We went further down, and I am inclined to say, and I will be wrong, and I have been wrong before, but if we lose this 85K level and we turn it into resistance, so like basically do something like this, right, and go further down, this is our top. All right. Back in March, back in April, I said that we will reach 102K. My max of this fifth wave up is 120K. What is the fifth wave? This is the fifth wave. Okay, so depending on where we are taking the impulse up, let's say we're taking it from here, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a max extension. I mean, this is much higher than the 2 to 3 wave, but this is why I think we are overextended. We can have a max move to 120K, up to 120K. If we make it there, I will sell everything. All right. Now, let me talk about why, if we close below this level, again, macro time frame, we have not broken structure, right? I can draw this trend line here. Okay, can draw this trend line, and until we break below this trend line, we can be bullish. But just imagine if we go into this range for the next 2 to 3 months, just like we did here. This was 7-month range, but 2 to 3 months, and we get closer and closer to this trend line, we break below, right? This is why I think that 104 is the top of this cycle. Now, again, we have a lot of work to do to be able to claim that this is the top, right? So I see us ranging here for a little bit. My invalidation would be obviously above this 99.4K level, right? Get back above here, flip it to support, then we make new highs, obviously. But until we are, flipping that back into invalidation, I am looking at mid-range and range lows. So please don't panic when I say that top is in. We have a lot of things to go over, and that is losing this range low, turning it into resistance, losing this trend line, then in my opinion, top is in. Now, it doesn't mean that the top is in for the alts, right? Consolidation usually leads to expansion for alts. Not all alts are going to do well. So you have to take a look at either one, what narrative is going to be trending if we are ranging, right? We can have AI season again, we can have RWAs, whatever it may be. But no, nothing good comes from shitcoin XRP pumping. Nothing good comes from Dino garbage pumping, right? So the the market deserved that flush only because all the liquidity was being sucked up by one sector. That sector was meme. Well, Dino coins, in my opinion, can be considered memes because they're a joke, but memes and Dino coins are going to be the resulting end of why we dumped. How do you know which it is like AI? You have to wait until the coins are running. You don't really know until you see specific coins running. Some AI coins running, some RWA coins running. You won't really know, and you will be late. Most of you will be late in identifying that. I will be late myself. It's just you have to be early, and I'm not one into fundamentals. I will never do fundamental analysis. I always look at charts, and I will use Twitter as my source to see what is pumping, and I will rotate my capital into that. So until then, right, we're looking at these two levels. We have broken the trend line. So now if we take a look at this on a lower time frame, okay, we have a supply zone here. I'm going to remove this. Okay, and then this is our level 2 flip, which if we do go back up there, I do see it being a short. I don't see us flipping this on the first or second try, and the longer this stalls, we have confluence of that area. We also can draw fibs from swing high to this swing low. Actually, not, it would be this swing low. High to that low, and it falls perfectly in line with the golden pocket. All right. So a lot of confluence to take us short if we go back up to these range high levels. Right, and then you just play the range. Like here is one potential. Here is discussed in my video as well. Here is the second. Now, these plays, you have to wait for me. This one you can set limit order because you have a lot of confluence there, right? You have the supply zone, you have the golden pocket, you have the potential of the bearish retest of the trend line. And if I were to, draw another downtrend here as well, hasn't really formed yet, but we have 3 touches at least. If we continue grinding up here, maybe a wick. Now this has to happen within the next, week. If we get that push up, then I'd be looking to short. Otherwise, this trend line just doesn't make sense. But the second option is going to be this the mid-range level. Now for this, again, you need confirmation. What does that mean? You need either one, price goes into here, acceptance happens, consolidates a little bit. Now, consolidation on support on the first touch doesn't matter because we're coming back down into an area of demand. So we come back here, consolidate a little bit, or you wait for a wick to take out this liquidity, run the stop hunts, because everyone's going to set limits here at support with their stops below the wick. We're going to beat them. We're going to wait until their stops are done, close above this blue line here, right? As soon as that 4 hour, I would like it on daily, but 4 hour you can look for positions to enter. 4 hour closure above, right? Then we have taken the liquidity. You market long with your stops below whatever wick that is, and you target 1 and 2, right? Outside of that, in the event that we get it, you're going to play the range low levels. Same thing here. Now, this one's a little bit trickier because we've only had one touch, so we haven't really claimed this as a support, right? So it's tricky to place limit bids here because you really have nothing to go off of, right? Like this is 85K. Back here, there's no data. So 85K, you could set limits go in with a very small position. Add more to your position if we come back down. Same concept here. Take the lows, right? Close back above, right? With a 4 hour, you can add more to your position with whatever stops below there. But setting limit orders here with a decent size is risky because we have really nothing to go over. A stronger support would be here with the multiple touches. Will it get front run? Maybe, but this is your range low level. A lot of people will be looking at the same exact confirmation to get into longs, right? So you have 3 separate plays. And then you can break this down, go into lower time frames, and find shorts. I mean, like, I'm not gonna. And as always, if it's not in my channel, it's not an official call. All right, so this would be another scalp opportunity, right? You have supply, you have SR. Right, we broke down from the previous support, right? So SR levels, stops above the wick, target 1 and target 2. So let me go ahead and put all these charts. Let's start with the 4 hour really quickly. Okay. And then when it comes to, taking profit, um, no analyst or anyone can tell you when, you should take profit. You have to understand and take accountability for your own plays. If you are entering something based off my play, or let's say Neil's play or Sherlock's play, you have to understand that our risk tolerance and our position sizing, whatever it may be, is different compared to yours. So, you know, I could be in a play and be underwater, thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, for you, if $100 is a lot of profit for you, uh, then go ahead and take it. Right? There's always more plays and opportunities to get into, and that's one of the like. If you DM me asking when to sell or ask me in chats when to take profit, my answer is going to be the same 3 words: up to you. All right, because it is your responsibility to make that or decision. All right, so but this is Bitcoin. All right, now ETH, in my opinion, looks much better than Bitcoin does, and where's the chart that I drew? Okay, this is the chart that I gave in my Sunday video, right? We were actually here. Okay, and I said we have a triple top forming. All right, we had resistance, second touch, and here's the third touch. Very crucial level as well. Okay, resistance, resistance, deviation, rejection, rejection, and possible triple top. There was no confirmation to enter in any longs, at least for ETH and the market. Alts rely on ETH to run. So a move up, right? We had the closure above, right? But we never had the flip. This is why I speak about waiting for a flip for confirmation. See how we closed above? There's the retest and the flip. This one gave you a little bit nicer move up. Same thing here, right? Close above. There's the flip, and then gave you a nice move up. We closed above. There's the resistance, but we never had the flip. So there was no real confirmation of waiting to enter this play. And we bounced right at the levels that, I think this was a daily demand zone. Yeah. We actually got front ran, but the boxes, the lines on my charts all have, a reason or an area to bounce from. Like, I'm not just drawing them just because. Although I make a lot of shit up when I'm looking at charts because I'm looking at them raw, everything that I prep in advance, right, like macro analysis, you should have on one of your charts. You should take a chart and be like, this is my macro analysis chart. I'm not going to change that. Anything that I want to go into, I'm going to use a different chart. So nothing's changed here outside of a deviation, right? But we are holding this area. Yes, taps. Um, as long as we are above this level, right, above this demand zone, we should grind higher. We have not lost the trend. Okay. Now this trend line isn't valid. We need 3 points of touch, but we are making higher highs and higher lows so far. Nothing to be worried about. The time to worry is going to be if we just start, doing this, right? At that point, we have lost market structure to the downside, and that is when you want to de-risk on some of your plays. But I expect this green area to hold. We can come back and do this, right? This is our, in my opinion, this is our last higher low. We can take a look at this based on a line chart. Oops. Okay. I do not want to lose this $3,300 level on the daily. We could wick below, that's fine, but as long as we are above this level, we're good. I especially don't want to close below this blue line. Okay, closing below that just signifies that this was just a deviation, and we go back below into this range here. All right. While this is happening, I expect ETH to grind higher. It's been holding relatively well. Like, yes, we were at 4K, but here's a 12% drop. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has had less, but now it's recovered, a third of that drop. Back above this 3750 level, we've had trouble with it, right? We never flipped it to support. Back above that, then we just play this range between 3750 to 4000. We've had multiple touches of this resistance. It's getting weaker and weaker. So if we get a deeper move into this area, then you have also a potential for an inverse head and shoulders. Right, here is your left shoulder, here is your head. Come back down, hold, there is your right shoulder, with targets of 50, like 700-ish. Yeah. Okay. So nothing to sweat yet on ETH. We're still holding. I'm not worried about it. I do think that it's actually going to run eventually. We just need Bitcoin to stop being a little bitch. But it's very important to note those levels that I gave, because if 85K is lost, then I'm calling for a potential top. Now, I'm not a top grabber. I'm not going to be calling tops forever. But you also have to keep in mind, no one knows what a top looks like until you look at it, in hindsight trading, right? So just don't have tunnel vision is what I'm trying to say, right? Don't see everything from a bullish viewpoint. Don't see everything from a bearish viewpoint. Have no bias when it comes to trading. Take profits. No one ever went broke from taking profits, and just trade the charts. Don't have any emotions to your coins or anything. I don't know what pi cycle top indicator is. I don't use indicators. Sounds dumb. Um, so in terms of where to buy, all right, green zone, if we get it, you buy, you hold, you target 5K. I think the ETH Foundation also sold like $120 million worth of ETH the other day. Whenever they sell, we dump. Okay. Now, Sol is one one chart that I also discussed in my video, is very important. It's coming to a very important level. All right. Let me get rid of this crap. First of all, let's talk about this bear flag that I mentioned. Right. We had a move down. We had a bear flag target for this bear flag was perfectly reached, right? We had the breakdown. There's the close below. There's the bearish retest, closed below. This was the setup to the bear flag target, perfectly filled. Now, the important level of Sol, I don't want to delete all these, one sec, is this green box here. Okay, this green box. As long as this green box holds, we should target new highs, right? We've had, this was resistance, we flipped it, right? We held it, we had that drop yesterday. Again, we had another flush into it, we held it. As long as this holds, we should target higher, right? Now, close below, this is why I say 200, right? We had resistance, so it was an SR point here. We went up. Okay, now we can talk about this potentially being a channel, not a fib channel. One sec. Okay. As long as this holds, we should target higher, but we can't just be looking at this only from a bullish viewpoint. We have to also talk about the low points if we were to get it, right? If Bitcoin does continue its trajectory down to that 85K level, you will be able to buy, Sol at $184 down to 160. All right, I expect a 20% move down. Now, also, if we take a look at Sol BTC, okay, a very, very crucial level here for Sol BTC as well. We're on support. We've had major touches of the support. So Sol really needs to hold here, because if this were to dump, it's going to be pretty gnarly, because the next levels don't come until here, right? So talking about a 10 to 20% drop, right? Okay. Just keep in mind, right? Very important level to hold. And if Bitcoin goes up, Sol is not going to outperform Bitcoin. Sol is going to be lagging. Sol will only be hurting if Bitcoin goes down, and will go up very slowly if Bitcoin goes up. That's because this chart looks like shit, right? So Sol is not the play right now, although it could continue to grind higher. Until this chart starts looking bullish, I do not think that this is an alpha play. Right? ETH looks much better. Yeah, Sol looks like absolute garbage, as it should. Bunch of fucking weirdos. Where's my Sol chart? There it is. Okay, so I'm not, outside of keeping my Sol position, right? I have an average of 216, 218ish. I will cut if we close below 200, but I'm not really looking to add more to my position until this downtrend is broken, right? We have broken market structure on the 4-hour, making lower lows and lower highs. We just made another lower low. So until this downtrend is broken, I'm not really I'm not interested in Sol as a coin, to be honest. I actually hate the Sol community more than I hate the XRP community. XRP community is also as bad, but they're more mature. Right? Um, I've been like DM'd by a lot of Soul communities for me to shill their stuff. I first of all, like, if I show you my DMs on Twitter, it's ridiculous. I just delete all of them. But I immediately tell them to go fuck themselves, and I send them the video of Tropic Thunder and Tom Cruise. You know, that famous scene where he's just like, take a step back and literally fuck your own face. I send that to every single one of them. I've been offered thousands of dollars. I will not shill any of the Soul community coins. I will not shill your stupid NFTs. Um, so, yeah. Now, if Ondo approaches me and they come out with NFTs or something, and you see me shill that, it will be disclosed. It's not going to be an undisclosed shill, but I will be taking all their fucking money because I love Ondo so much. Anyways, Soul, not really interested until this level here is flipped. Okay. Like Grasati said, downtrend. Not really interested until this is broken. I'll put this chart here. These are the levels that you could buy if Sol goes below 200 and Bitcoin goes to that 85K level. Right? Now, I don't know what is up with Link and what they're cooking. I know they had I know this whole entire move they had in the weekly is about to get erased, but something is cooking with Link. And recently, I saw someone call this a cup and handle. All right, I blasted them saying that they need to go back to whoever taught them TA. And I won't repeat what I said to them, but if we can close above this weekly, then we have a major flip of this weekly and a new higher high, right? On a lower level, this looks disgusting. We had bearish engulfing candle. I have a Caleb. I don't know if you know this, but I was at Chainlink like Marine back in the day. My buys were under like 50 cents. Chainlink was one of the coins that made me a fuck ton amount of money. I have my Coinbase buys, but I'm well versed with their community. I just don't talk about it as much because now the chart's starting to look good and I don't want to jinx it. But it's I'm a Link baby. It was the coin that made me a lot of money last cycle. But taking a look at this, if we get a move down to here, okay, that is your buy zone. 19 down to 17. Now, if Bitcoin goes lower, this obviously goes lower, but there's something brewing with Chainlink, and I was trying to figure out what it was. They have like an Abu Dhabi conference. I think it was yesterday. I don't know if some type of partnership is coming, but if we can just flip this on the weekly, I can see us playing back into this range here between 22 to 33. But if we close back below, it's going to need some work. But this has been doing exceptionally well, and I don't know if it was just a run up to um like that conference and the hype is done, but you know, if this continues to grind up, like this is a low risk area for me to buy. You cut back if we close below this level, because then we go back into this previous range here, right? Where you have the range highs and then back to this range, which isn't going to be pretty. So it's a low risk area, in my opinion. That's why I'm still in my position. We hit TP1, but flip this on the weekly, which we have 5 days left, then I can see us playing between 22 to 20 to 33 range. Like this is one of the coins that the chart looks decent. Now I do not want this to be, you know, engulfed. The daily looks disgusting. The 3-day looks disgusting. But weekly, we just need a flip. I'll post this chart. I'm in my play in my channel, so there's nothing really to update outside of just holding. Aladdin, I'll do Vanry for you in Pepe Academy. I'm trying to go over the market update. Now we got to talk about USDT dominance, right? And I briefly covered this in my video, but we are at a very critical level here. All right, we have a bullish engulfing on the weekly, and I spoke about why we could dip. Right, we spoke about people taking profits during the end of the year and just being stabled up. Um, Tax harvesting, right? So if you made a lot of money throughout this whole entire year and you want to pay less in capital taxes, people are going to sell their bags that are down in losses. They're just going to sell it and get rid of it to lower their tax liability. So this happens every single year. So this is one of the reasons why USDT dominance is popping. And then, holidays, people are taking time off, sidelined. A lot of people got destroyed on that whole entire move down, and they have no stables, or they have no money to buy. So retail is just sitting on the sideline, and that's another reason to buy now, or another reason to sell and just wait and nothing is moving. Now, if I were to flip this chart, okay, and I draw. Okay. This is the only bullish viewpoint that I see. Okay. We have a downtrend that we just broke out from. We retested it, right? We should reject if we reclaim this trend line, then we are going to go higher. Okay? I could see us maybe pushing up to here, and I'll flip the chart back around. But if we reject from here, not only do we have this inverted, but we have a giant cup and handle. Now, technical targets send this back to fucking zero, so I'm not going to go back on that. But we talk about support levels, and sometimes if you invert your chart, you can see stuff much more clearly. Okay, so is this going to be a bearish retest, or is this going to be a deviation and a reclaim, and then we go back up, make another lower high, come back down, okay, and then maybe at that point we put in a bullish divergence, and then this is September of 25, right? I think market ends, or the bull run ends no later than mid Q2. We have a divergence. Yeah, we do. Can I do RSI on this chart? Yes, I can. Yeah, but the divergence already played out. So another good reason to sell when we were at that level, right? Divergence already played out. We are actually resetting here at 50. The oscillator is resetting at 50. Now, RSI on USDT dominance is not one that you want to play, right? Like no one's going to be buying or overselling US dominance, right? So this already played out in my opinion. Now we just gotta take a look and see if this is actually a bearish retest. So close below, right on the weekly. We still have 5 days, and then we can see from there. But if we reclaim this, it's just a deviation to the upside, and I'm looking for another lower high. And then a move down. Hopefully, like this will be our last push up. Could take some time. If this happens in a week, then swell. But I think this takes some time, and the rest of the month is going to be choppy in the markets. It's going to be one or two more flushes, in my opinion, from now until the end of January, and then we start, that final leg of the alts from February, March, and April, and then I think that would be the top of this bull run. Now again, I could be wrong, things can change, but let me show you guys something else as well. I just gotta text my side chick. All right. Okay. March. I need a better chart. The reason why I think that most likely if we lose 85K, the top is in, is because okay, when we ran from here, like this is when we actually had that structure break to the upside, right? We made the higher high, higher low. To the end of the bull run, 476 days versus here, 630, right? We are overextended. If we take a look at averages, like even the last run before that, I have to figure out what chart it was, I forget, but it was only like 300 days, right? So yes, we're increasing from 300 to 476 to 630. Now, how much longer can we go? Right? So this is why I think the run's coming to an end. Maybe we go until like I said, April of next year, which is 700, which is almost double that of last year. And this is why I think like we have that final wave. Now, even if we take a look at this, right? Okay. Like I said, this third wave up. Okay. See, this should be shorter. It's about the same size as 2 to 3. So this is invalid. This is why I think we are overextended. But again, we're going to play it level by level. And until that range low is lost, I'm not calling for a top. But if that range low is lost at 85K, I'm calling for a top. Right? Notice how when we first started, I think we were at like what, 95, 800-ish or whatever. Right? I don't remember. We have here, let's do this. Started an hour ago. Yeah, 95, 95.7. Okay. See how perps were, or sorry, spot price was leading over perps, and they still are, and we went up. That is a great indicator to tell whether this, move up in the market is natural versus if it's spoofed by just leverage buys. And it's natural, right? Like we have spot buyers stepping in at a very crucial point. Okay, very crucial point, and now we're just pushing up. So until this stops being a premium, I'm continuing or looking for a move higher. Now, first area is here and then here, but it's Tuesday, and usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the most volatile days. And by volatile, I mean swings in both directions. Tuesday, yes, we had this drop, but look, like we opened up here, had a 3% move down, almost a 3% move back. Now, like that doesn't seem like a lot, but 3.5K and 2.4K is a lot. And this is what I was talking about with that big move coming on that Tuesday or Wednesday. So keep your eyes out on tomorrow and today's volatility. I do think it's going to keep going higher and higher. All right. Any questions on what I just covered? I won't be going over coins. All right. So just the market update because I think it's important to know where we stand. But any questions on what I covered or any questions regarding the market in its entirety? You can watch the recap when I post it. In USDT dominance, this pattern's over 100,000 days. Is it valid in such long periods? Yeah, USDT dominance is a hard thing to really base anything on. USDT dominance is just a tool to see when you think you should stable up versus when you should risk on, risk off. It's very hard to do anything um, based off of this. So I just use this to know when to go risk off versus risk on. Good question. What's concerning is USDT Bitcoin dominance is also regaining this trend line possibly, and with Bitcoin price going up, dominance going up, any small move just wrecks alts in general. Like we just dropped $100 and ETH dropped $10, Sol dropped $1.50. Yeah, just tax harvesting. Agreed. Cool. So if no other questions, I'll stop recording here.